Hi everyone, I'm going to make an journal page and this is one of my experiments. I've got all these sponge brushes that I really want to try and use in making some interesting background. Now these sponge brushes are, at least here, are found in the cheap store, and if you are going to the kids craft section it will be very cheap. If you are going to the adults craft section it will be a little bit more expensive, and it's the same brushes. And of course if you are going to a craft supply stores it will be more expensive. Don't know why, same brushes and still differences in prices. Now I don't know if your cheap stores are carrying this kind of stuff, but I hope so. So I really wanted to try and use them in making something interesting, and since it's an experiment I've also took some paints, colors that I don't usually use together. I've got here black, white, orange, red and ochre. So we'll see what happens. I've got here an A3 watercolor paper from a watercolor pad, and I'm just going to start smearing paint away. So let's see. Let's start with this one. At first I really need to lay down some basic background to cover my page, and I'm going to work it just, well, there is just randomly. I don't have a real plan. I just want to spread some color around and see what happens. And as I said, right now I'm just taking care of covering most of my page, and after that I will go on and start making more of a pattern on top. So that's the only explanation I've got for you. And it's random and it's an abstract and you can play around with it and it's fun. And yes, I know several will say I don't like abstract, but I think that most of what of the backgrounds we are doing in our art journaling are abstracts. So I too don't have a problem. I too have a problem with abstracts when someone is trying to tell me it's a horse and it's not. So, but as long as no one is claiming that it's a horse or a chicken or whatever, then I'm fine with it. So, as I said, just smearing paint, and as you can see I'm trying to use both sides of the brush, the thinner and the wider, to my advantage, and don't really care now, just putting down paint, having fun with it. And I'm going to use the other kinds of brushes, but not right now. Right now, as I said, just laying down paint wherever I think it's needed. Adding a little bit white to the mix will make your background more interesting, especially if you're taking it with another one of your colors. You will get variations in the tone of the color. So I've got coverage, and now I want to start playing around, and I've got all kinds of these sponges. We'll see what happens. Now if you're wondering why it looks like that, is because I already used them a long time ago, and I don't clean the sponges, and I will explain why. If I clean them when I want to make a mark on my page, it will be difficult. The sponge is taking all the color and not giving a lot on the page. And if I'm using it once and leaving it be, then it's still a sponge, but it doesn't absorb all the amount of paint I have. So that's that's why I'm doing it. Now I'm going to try to be brave and use the black, which is one of the problems I have. I'm not used to using black on my project, so I want to try and incorporate a little bit of it and see what happens, if I can live with it. Leaving it be, and let's see. Just playing around. And I went over some of the black areas, so now I've got a little bit of black with the red, and again it's giving me a little bit more variation to the color, like here. I hope you can see it in the corner. So moving on, let's try some of the round, the circular sponges to make more prints, and it doesn't show much, so I've added white to the mix. I'm moving it in a circular motion just so the print will be better. And as I said, there is no just no reason. You're just playing and layering your background. And I'm leaving this aside, and I want to try again and use the thin part of the brush, and let's go again for the black. Be brave, and let's do some markings. It's quite interesting what you can achieve with so little. I really like these markings. Yeah. Yes. Let's see what else we can do with this stuff. And let's add a little bit more of white into our background. And I'm taking white with a little bit of the ochre, which I think is off off frame, but I don't have enough room here, so just putting it down on this sponge, and let's see what will happen. It's quite interesting, especially when it picks another color that is not dry yet. Oopsie. Okay, so I really like this background, and I'm going to do a lot more like this. And now I'm going to give this a dry, and I'm going to bring something to I lost my words again. I'm focal image. I'm going to look for my focal image for this background. It will probably be a butterflies, a monarch butterfly, because this color just reminds me of it. So that would probably what I'm going to use, but we'll see. I'll be back once this is dry. I'm back. So this is dry. Now I had a lot of leftover paint, so I took my notebook for leftover paint and played them a little bit more. So now I've got also this page that I can work into other projects, and I still had more paint, so I took 2 printer papers and smeared the paint, and it's good because I'm now going to use this one for the next stage. Now I was looking for butterflies to work with this page, and I couldn't find anything that I liked, so I'm going to make my own butterflies from this paper. And I've got this quite large stamp of a butterfly that I'm going to stamp here, and these are going to be the butterflies that are going on this page. So I'm just hoping I'll have a nice print. I'll move this for the time being, and let's see, I want it to, where do I want it? Never mind, as good as any place. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to stamp several butterflies here, so I will have enough to work with, and then I've got to fussy cut each each one of them, which is going to take a while. Let's see, and I'm trying to figure out, because these are the same colors as my background, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to make my butterflies stand out on my page. So that's the other thing that I need to figure out, and right now I'm thinking either gluing down pieces behind each butterfly, or putting down some paint that will make them pop out. We'll see. So I've got a dot here that I don't want, so I'm just moving my stamp here. So I'm going to have enough butterflies for this project, and probably will have leftover for my stash, so it's win-win. And I'm going to stop for right now and try to fussy cut and start fussy cutting all these butterflies. And I'm thinking that maybe I'll be even braver, and behind every butterfly I will smear some black paint, and we'll see. So I'll be back once I have my butterflies. I'm back, and as you can see, here are my butterflies, and they are just disappearing into the background because they are the same colors. And what I'm going to do, and let's hope I'm not trashing whatever I've done, I'm going to take black gesso and I'm going to smear some paint underneath where a butterfly is supposed to go, and I'm taking the excess off, and I'm trying to make it very casual, very free. Again, taking the excess, and here is where the butterfly is going, like that. And I still have to glue it down. Maybe it will even attach itself with the gesso, I don't know. Right now I'm just putting it down, and here is the other place I want a butterfly. So again, very, very free. This whole page is like a big, I don't know, graffiti, so I wanted to continue this kind of impression. Here we go. And this one a little bit here. Yeah, that's what I was aiming for, and it seems like it worked. And the only thing I'm going to add here is I've got this stamp that says butterflies, and let's see, taking it out. No, I need this one. Yeah, this is it. That's my page. I really like how it turned out, and the play with all the sponge brushes. And before I forget, I also wanted to tell you another thing about the sponge brushes. These are really good when you are trying to glue something without having puddles of glue. And just to show you, when I'm doing my art journal in the dictionary, I'm always sticking 3 pages together, and I want them to stay straight, and I want them glued down nicely. So I will use a sponge brush with a white glue. And why does it work so well is because the sponge is taking the excess of the glue inside. So when you are smearing it and you repeat it, then there won't be any puddles. And then I'm closing it, and even then I'm using a plastic card and doing something like that, so I won't have any excess glue. And that's how I get this kind of very sturdy pages for my art journal in a dictionary. So that's another use for the sponge brushes that I wanted to tell you about. And there was another one which now I'm drawing blank about what I wanted to say about these sponge brushes, but I think you can probably work out some other use for them. So this is it. That's my page. I hope I gave you some ideas and that you will play with it. And you don't have, if you don't have sponge brushes, you don't have to. You can do the same thing I've done with paint brushes, regular paint brushes, and even those who are made for walls. They make a nice they can make a nice background. So this is it for now. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments below, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.